witches and wizards. I'm Justin, this is Koopa. Welcome to Koopa's Corner, and we're back with another sorting ceremony. I had so much fun doing the last one, I couldn't wait to do another. We're going to do Superstars of the 2010s, some of the biggest names in the 2010s for this video. Now, for those of you that missed the last one, we're sorting WWE Superstars into their Hogwarts houses. For those of you that aren't Harry Potter people, there are 4 Hogwarts houses named after the 4 founders of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. They are Gryffindor, where they value bravery and courage; Ravenclaw, where they value wit and intelligence; Slytherin, where they value cunning and ambition; and finally Hufflepuff, where they value loyalty and hard work, though Hufflepuff is also sometimes kind of the other house. It's where they'll go if you don't have anywhere else to go. One line in the book says, "We'll take the rest." So those are the 4 houses of Hogwarts School and Witchcraft and Wizardry, and we're going to start off sorting with, I think, maybe the easiest one today. That's John Cena, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect himself. What is hustle if not another name for hard work? Hard work and loyalty? That is an easy Hufflepuff. I don't think I have to really get too into it to explain why I think that fits. So let's just move on to the next name, and that's going to be Randy Orton.
Slytherin!
Slytherin. Absolutely. I think, honestly, it makes a lot of sense, right? He's the Viper. He's a snake. And the Slytherin house animal is a serpent. It's a snake. Salazar Slytherin himself was a Parseltongue. He could speak to snakes. Randy Orton has been an incredible performer over the years, but he's also been largely a heel. He's largely been a bad guy. He is a multi-generational superstar, right? Cowboy Bob Orton, his father, being a wrestler as well. And yeah, I think that Randy Orton just kind of fits the bill for a Slytherin. Next up, we're going to go Brock Lesnar. And again, I feel like this one's kind of an easy one. Brock Lesnar is as big of a Slytherin as there ever was. Brock Lesnar only does what Brock Lesnar wants to do. And who the hell is going to make him do otherwise? You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be a Slytherin. But Brock Lesnar is about Brock Lesnar. He comes in, he whoops ass, he leaves. He comes in, he collects a paycheck, he leaves. You know, he's pretty Slytherin. He's not out here, I think, really representing any of those other traits. So we're going Slytherin for Brock Lesnar. Next up, we're going to start talking about the 4 horsewomen of the WWE. I think that they are such an integral part of the 2010s, bringing on the women's evolution, really being a cornerstone in that. And I think we should start off with the man, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is...
Better be Gryffindor!
A Gryffindor. Yeah, it makes sense, I think, in my opinion. Becky Lynch is, well, not only got a lot of red going on with her hair, which is the color of Gryffindor, right? But, no, I think that she kind of comes in with this sort of bravado that kind of reminds me of, you know, a James Potter. She's got some, you know, a little bit of cockiness, a little bit of arrogance, but she's ultimately, you know, put herself through the grinder over the years, building up, going through the indies, trying to make a name for herself. She finally makes it to the WWE, and she's in NXT. And as much as I loved her even back then, she was not at the top of the 4 horsewomen, not the most prominent one, but coming up to the main roster, she busted her ass and she made a name for herself. She is probably the biggest name in women's wrestling history, with the possible exception maybe of Rhea Ripley. I mean, but Becky Lynch really became not just one of the four horsewomen, but she became a cornerstone in the WWE. And I just feel like she is a Gryffindor. We're going to go on to Bayley. Bayley, I think, is a Hufflepuff.
Welcome to the top.
Yeah, Bayley is just someone who's really undervalued and underappreciated, particularly in the current landscape of the WWE. But she's someone who's always been around, like consistently since she came into the WWE. She doesn't take large chunks of time off. She doesn't really get injured. She is there. She is a consistent presence, and she is good at what she does. She's not overly flashy. She's not trying to steal the show. She's not, doing big stunts, taking unnecessary risks. She's not necessarily, the most cunning or ambitious person, in the sense that she, like a Slytherin, she's not gonna stab you in the back, or even when she was a heel, she was kind of true to her original character. I mean, the hugger and the role model both had very similar vibes in them. In NXT, she's got the whole, wacky, waving, inflatable arm, inflatable tube men type thing going on. It just feels very Hufflepuff. It feels very, I'm here, I'm a steady hand, I'm reliable, I'm dependable, I'm gonna work hard. That's the vibe that I get from Bayley. So I think we're gonna stick with Hufflepuff there and move on to Sasha Banks.
Slytherin!
Absolutely right, a Slytherin. Sasha Banks. So this one's kind of, I don't want to talk down on her. I liked her when she was in the WWE, but she is somebody who thinks very highly of herself. She is somebody who runs her mouth a lot, and she's also not really afraid to take risks. I mean, in a way that's not necessarily like high risk maneuvers, like high flying wrestling, which more courage, right, than cunning or ambition. But she's someone who is not afraid to take risks in the sense of her image, her self-worth, how she values herself. She didn't think she was being treated right. She walked out. That is a huge Slytherin move. I mean, she's ambitious. She wants to be the top, and if she's not the top, she's going to go somewhere else to be the top there. It's unfortunate because you feel like she maybe burned some bridges. Maybe she won't be back. And really seeing what she's become outside of the WWE. Not that I follow AEW too closely, but she's got Slytherin vibes. I don't think anyone can disagree with me there. For better, for worse, doesn't matter. I think that whether you like her or not, you got to admit, she's got some Slytherin vibes. And now we're going to talk about Charlotte Flair.
I know just what to do with you.
Charlotte Flair is also a Slytherin. I really wanted to go Ravenclaw here, just to have, each of the four horsewomen be each of the four founders of Hogwarts. It felt so right, but I can't do it. Charlotte Flair is not a Ravenclaw. She is a Slytherin. Blonde, rich. My father will hear about this. Like she has a lot in the Flair name. She is, right out of the Malfoy family tree, basically. She's also somebody who really is ambitious and really sort of cunning and not afraid to do what's necessary to get to the top, but in a completely different way than Sasha Banks. A completely different way. I think that Charlotte Flair, first and foremost, is a lot less villainous. Not a shot at Sasha, but Sasha doesn't care. She'll do what she needs to do. And I think Charlotte Flair does care. I think that Charlotte Flair will do what she needs to do in a completely different way. I think that she's not afraid to play the game, whereas Sasha Banks, if the game isn't going her way, she's going to go find a different game. Charlotte Flair, she just has that vibe of that little bit of arrogance, that little bit of cockiness, the I am the best, and you have to deal with it. You know, I think that she's a Slytherin. All right, let's move on. I think one of the biggest names of the 2010s is Daniel Bryan. I mean, it's hard to look back at, 2014, 2015 without thinking of Daniel Bryan. The whole Yes movement, Occupy Raw, Yeselmania, absolutely huge moments. And moments that also sort of, through Daniel Bryan, gave the WWE Universe a voice, almost, it felt like, because consistently Vince McMahon did what Vince McMahon wanted to do, whether it was good storytelling or not. And the fans were finally fed up. And the fans finally started to be vocal to the point of derailing the plans that were in place. And that all came to fruition through Daniel Bryan. So absolutely one of the biggest names of the 2010s. So where to place him?
Hufflepuff!
Hufflepuff. Absolutely, Daniel Bryan is a puff. Daniel Bryan, whatever character he was, whatever alignment he was, babyface or heel, whether he was Team Hell No, whether he was Yes, whether he was the planet's champion, he gave it his all. Daniel Bryan busts his ass. Daniel Bryan is not a big guy. He's not somebody who really should have been a star, right? By the usual standards, or the historical standards, I guess, of the WWE. It might be a more accurate way to say that. But he got there anyway because he busted his ass. He did it in a way that a lot of wrestlers don't do. You saw his work ethic in a way that you don't always see. All right, so I think he was a Hufflepuff. Next up, let's talk about Kevin Owens. Ravenclaw. No, we didn't have a lot of Ravenclaws this time, but I think Kevin Owens is a Ravenclaw. Absolutely. Kevin Owens, both character and in real life, have shown that he's a smart man. And he's not afraid to, maybe that's not a right way to start this sentence, but he's not afraid to really utilize that as his key component. He's a very cerebral wrestler. I mean, something as simple as there was a tag team match a few weeks back, and they were blocking the way to his corner to tag out, and he rolled out of the ring and ran around. He debuted on the main roster in an open challenge against John Cena, and he stomped on the United States Championship. He made a name for himself. He knew that it would get people talking. It was a smart thing to do. And Kevin Owens, again, is sort of like Daniel Bryan in the sense that as good as he is, and he is good, he's not somebody who historically would have stood out based on his appearance and his, physique, and I've got no problem with it. I love Kevin Owens. I think he's great. But Kevin Owens got to where he is today with his wit and his intelligence. And I think the last one for today, another absolute massive superstar in the 2010s, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt debuted with the Wyatt family, and he was a very steady, very consistent presence throughout the 2010s. An absolute legend. What a career that this man had. And We're going to place him in
Slytherin!
Slytherin. You know, sometimes it's okay to go with stereotypes, and Bray Wyatt being, that horror movie, that really villainous, that really scary persona, just screams Slytherin. It is what it is. If you disagree, by all means, let me know in the comments. I'm really open to hearing arguments for Bray Wyatt to go anywhere else. But it was a gut feeling. It's the vibe I got, and it's again not necessarily a bad thing. But man, was Bray Wyatt a special performer? Well, there you have it, friends. We actually got through the list pretty quick today, sorting some of the top WWE superstars of the 2010s into their Hogwarts houses. Let me know what you think I got right. Let me know what you think I got wrong. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.